Good day, everybody. It is Tia Torres with another episode of the Tia Talk podcast. More specifically, my Rescue 101 mini-series under the Tia Talk podcast platform. So I think the last place we left off, we were talking about which type of dog to pick out for your first rescue dog, correct? Yes, I believe we were. Okay. By the way, I just need to say this. I don't listen to a whole lot of podcasts, but I did listen to one today on a really huge platform. Like, it's a really well-known platform, a really well-known news person. And I was so disappointed because she was like reading a script and it was so boring. And then she had a guest on and she'd say, so there was a lot of media frenzy around the court case. Tell me about that, to her guest. And I'm like, why aren't you talking about it? I don't know. I just had to point that out, that it was just so boring and I was disappointed. So I like having conversations with y'all. Okay. And I know I start running along, running on at the mouth, but I feel like I'm like talking and we're having a discussion. So I just had to put that out there. Okay. Back to the topic at hand. So you are deciding which type of dog for you to get for your first rescue. And I had recommended, a small to medium, cute little dog. Okay. Just to try it out. But you do need to prepare. All right. There are some things that I want you to prepare. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that you have another dog in the house or possibly a cat, kids, as well. And I'm going to explain to you why I am asking you to take these steps as we move along. The first thing I need you to get is a baby gate. Okay, a good sturdy baby gate. Not necessarily maybe a baby gate, but like a dog baby gate, that you order from like, Chewy or even on Amazon. A fairly, I would say a taller one. Not one that you can step over, because if you can step over, the dog probably can get over it too. The reason I want to see you enclose this dog and don't give it access to your entire house, this is when problems start. Okay? Think of it as this. All right. You are an inmate who, you went to prison. You got sent to prison, which is basically what an animal shelter is like. Okay? And you spent, X number of time in a cell, in a cage. And then all of a sudden someone posts your bail, your bond, and they drop you off in a mansion. Okay, like in the middle of like Manhattan, New York. Very overwhelming. I mean, right? Wouldn't you think so? Because you don't know this dog's background. This dog may have not ever been exposed to all this stuff. So you want to keep their world somewhat small until they start to get more comfortable. Then you just kind of expand it. So we always recommend like the kitchen. I think a bathroom may be a little too small, but like the kitchen, at least you have like the linoleum floor in case they go pee pee poo poo, easy to clean up. If not, a bedroom. Because along with the baby gate, I'm going to ask you to do something else. And that is get a crate. Okay. I prefer the wire fold down crates, but maybe until you get trained, maybe recommend like the hard plastic crates. And especially, if it's a male dog, probably for sure, because you don't know if this dog's been an outdoor dog its whole life, and you get the wire fold down crates and then he starts peeing outside the crate and it's all in your carpet and bleh. So let's start with a hard plastic crate. They sell those online. And you got to make sure it's big enough. That's the thing that I see people really screw up. And I know like the websites say, oh, this crate is for this up to 100-pound dog, honestly, I would go for the next one up. I would. It's kind of like, ladies, it's kind of like, like a pair of pants. Oh, I can fit into a medium. And you're like, yeah, that's not the medium I was thinking. I got to go for a large. So, that's what I would say with a dog crate. Okay. And this way, if they try to lift their leg, it's not all over your house. Plus, dogs have an innate, what's the right word I'm looking for? Just this thing where they don't really like peeing and pooping where they have to sleep. Okay. So it does help almost house train the dog, housebreak, for lack of a better word, with the crate. Okay. So you're going to need a baby gate tall enough that you can't step over it, and a hard plastic crate. Back in the day when they had the only brand of crate they had was called Very Kennel. It was easy because I could say, get a Very Kennel, 500, 700, whatever. They have all different brands now, so we can't go with the number, the brand, the model number. So again, just go for the next size up to what the website's recommending for that particular dog. If you have like a Cocker Spaniel is probably around 35 pounds, and you're looking at the crate sizes and says, oh, this fits a dog up to 40 pounds. Go for the next size up. Give him or her some, room. Okay. Now, because crate training is a whole different thing, okay? Okay. And I'm going to talk about that as well. Right now we're just going to talk about supplies, okay? Of course, food bowl, water bowl, that type of thing. As far as toys go, let's stay away from what we call high value stuff. Like squeaky toys. And I'll tell you why. Just in case this dog has some behavioral issues, we don't want to see him get too amped up and then you can't take the toy away. So let's just stick with maybe like some Nylabones. They're kind of boring, but they're great for the dog to chew on. No stuffed animals for now, because we don't know if this dog's going to shred them and eat them. And then their intestines get all stuffed up, and then you got to open them up and get surgery, and it's a whole thing. So no stuffed animals, no tug ropes. Let's not do that right now. Okay, let's just stick with Nylabones for now. Just good old boring Nylabones. No tennis balls. Just basic Nylabones. And make sure they are compatible to the dog size. If you're going to end up rescuing a Saint Bernard, which I would not recommend, but for your first dog, but if you are, you don't want to get him a teeny tiny little Nylabone because then he's going to swallow it. Then you want to make the crate like his or her cave. That's like their little sleeping spot. That's where they're going to go to decompress, to relax. So you want to put a nice cushy blanket in there. Okay? I would also recommend some wee-wee pads, some pee-pee pads, to put out in the room, just to have them handy. But the crate training is going to play a part in teaching the dog not to pee and poop in the room. Okay, but just in case, you may want to get some wee-wee pads handy. And then of course, leash and collar. Okay, very important. Oh my God, Tia, pat yourself on the back. Very, 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 very important. Do not use just a regular flat buckle collar on your new dog, your new rescue dog. Get what is called a martingale collar. Okay. They look like a flat nylon collar, but they tighten up when the dog pulls, and they tighten up around the dog's neck. And let me explain why before you start scolding me. You don't know how your rescue dog's going to react outside. And I cannot tell you, if I had a dime for every person that got a hold of me and said, oh my God, I got a dog out of the shelter. She freaked out and she slipped out of her collar and she took off and I can't find her because, we have no bond. So she just kept running. Absolutely, probably the most important thing out of this entire podcast episode. a martingale collar. And just like it sounds, you can get them online. You can get them on Amazon. And what's great about them is, again, when they're on the dog, they just slip over their neck. They look like a regular collar. And then when you put the leash on the buckle and you pull, it tightens up so the dog can't slip out. And you want to make sure that when it's in the pulling position, that it's snug, like it's not going to come over this dog's head. All right. And then when you relax the leash, the collar loosens up. Very, very, very important. Okay. And then maybe some dog treats. We're going to use dog treats for some little bit of training. And I think you'll be good to go with just that. I think that's a good little list to start with. And on the next episode, we'll talk about the crate training and some little basic training you can do with your foster or your rescue dog. And you know what? I got to do some regular Tia Talk podcast episodes here. I've been doing this whole Rescue 101 series because so many people ask me about it. And I actually have a lot of inmates in prison who are asking me how to start a rescue. So this particular platform I use does a written transcript, so I can just print it off. But anyways, next week I may, or maybe I'll do like an extra Tia Talk podcast episode, and it'll be about life, good old life. All right, you got your shopping list, and I'm going to stress it. I told you the most important thing on your shopping list, okay? And that's what you need to really, really make sure you have. Okay. Well, my new motto, my new closing statement, what is it? My mission is to rescue. But my hope is that one day I won't have to because of you taking over for me. All right. We will see you on the next one.